the first thing I'm going to teach you how to weigh is going to be dry foods, things that you can find in a package that you can look at the label. The first example we're going to use is going to be cashew blueberry clusters. So as you can see on the screen, these are the nutrition facts label. Here's some things that you need to understand when you're weighing food that you can look at labels. The first thing that you're going to notice is going to be the serving size. The serving size is sometimes going to be presented in things like cups or sometimes tablespoons. In this example, you're going to see that it's presented in cups, but right next to it in parentheses, you're going to see the amount in weight in grams. That is the most accurate thing to weigh it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you what 1 cup is going to be, which is actually the serving size that you see on there, but also in grams on the scale. So let's get right into it. So the first thing is we need to make sure that the scale is zeroed out, and I'm going to switch it to mode to be put on grams. As you can see, you don't have a measurement called cups, of course, in a weight scale because it's not a measurement of net weight. So I have it set up. The first thing I'm going to put is I'm going to put my plate first. As you can see, there's 479 grams already on there, which is the weight of the plate. I need to zero that out. So I'm going to zero it, and now it's ready to go. I'm going to take, for example, now I have this cereal. So let's say I'm actually going to use cups to be able to measure this. So I go, so you can see sometimes like the inaccuracies. 1 serving of blueberry clusters cashew cereal, it's about 52 grams, which is about a cup. This is, I'm actually going to use the full cup on here. So I'm going to try to add this on there. Some things are going to slip out. Okay. So this is about 1 cup, measure in a cup. I'm going to dump it into this. That represents 43 grams. The serving size, it's 52. That means obviously that the measurement I did, I actually underreported that. So I'm going to add in here what an actual full serving is going to be, which is going to be a little bit more. That's 55 grams, which is kind of close enough. But that's a simple way that you measure cereal, for example, or some dry food ingredient. And you can kind of see it is ready to go, so you know exactly there's about a cup on 1 serving, which is what's presented on the label. Now, we're going to put that to the side, and now we're going to be measuring, for example, something like nuts or almonds in this case. So in here we have raw almonds. And we're going to put up on the screen like an example of that. I don't remember exactly what brand is this, but most of them are going to be, this is just like shaved almonds. And we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to grab, for example, something like a little cup like this. I'm going to put it on the scale. I'm going to zero it out. So that's obviously the first thing we need to do. And I'm going to say 1 tablespoon, for example. For things like nuts and seeds, like the calories on those things can actually go up very quickly. So you need to make sure you're careful with that. And when we go over like, things like almond butter in just a second, you're going to realize the difference that it makes. So if you have this in zero, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon. And I'm going to add it. That is about 12 grams. Typically portion sizes for some of these different things are going to be, depending for fats, are going to be anywhere between 15 to 30 grams. So let's say we're just trying to weigh, let's say 15 grams. So that's about, let's say 20. So it's about 19 grams, close enough. And obviously I know exactly that this is about 1 and some change as far as like tablespoons of shaved almonds. A lot of times like we just kind of measure things like when we eyeball it, and that is like the part of it specifically in things that contain fats that is going to be highly inaccurate when you're doing the tracking process. So that's the first thing that you need to understand.